It is Christmas in July, DIY friends. I am joining an awesome group of creative DIY YouTubers today to celebrate Christmas in July and also the kickoff of my second channel called The Cozy Christmas Cottage. So we are doubling up today. Not only do I have a brand new video over on the Cozy Christmas Cottage kicking off this brand new season, but I also have one here on the Daily DIYer YouTube channel because we're gonna do some totally different fun Christmas projects today here too. So in addition to all of that, like I said, I've also invited a bunch of my DIY creative YouTube friends who also love Christmas. So after the end of this video, you'll definitely want to head down to the description box, click that playlist link, and you will have access to all kinds of brand new Christmas ideas to get you in the spirit a little bit early this year. But obviously, I love Christmas all year long, so I don't think it's early at all to get started with your Christmas crafting, and I have some fun DIYs to share with you today. We're keeping everything super simple and easy today. Anybody can do these projects. We're also keeping it very, very affordable because we're shopping at Dollar Tree. We're gonna be using these styrofoam cones that you can find in the crafting section. And I'm gonna blow your mind today because we have some brand new projects that you've never seen before. So let's jingle all the way into the first DIY. All right, so this first project is actually a 3-in-1 project. So by the time we're done with this, you're actually gonna have 3 projects. So hang tight with me. You're gonna need some fabric and of course your styrofoam cone from Dollar Tree. We're gonna start by taking our fabric and cutting about a 12-inch by 12-inch square. Scissors work perfect for this. And then we need to iron our fabric so it doesn't have any wrinkles. I have this really cute miniature iron that I love to keep in my craft stash for projects like this. I'll link it down below for you. Very affordable on Amazon. And then we're gonna need this stuff, which is a Heat and Bond fusible webbing. And I am actually pretty sure that I've seen this stuff at Dollar Tree before too. So make sure to check the crafting section or I'll link it down below because you can get it off Amazon or craft store or even Walmart. We're going to take our fabric, flip it upside down, and we're going to put the fusible side of this backing onto our fabric, and all you have to do is iron that on. You want to make sure to get the entire thing, including all of those edges. All right, so now this is permanently attached to the back side of our fabric, and it's gonna give our fabric more of a rigid effect so it can hold its shape better. So we're actually gonna be making some little Christmas trees out of this fabric. So we're gonna take our styrofoam cone and we're gonna wrap the fabric around the cone. So as soon as we get to a spot where it's completely wrapped, we're gonna take a pencil and just kind of mark a straight line right there. And that is going to be the spot where we're gonna cut this fabric off. But we're also going to keep this project no-sew. So I have this double-sided fusible webbing here, or I think it's called hemming tape, and I will link that down below for you too. Very similar to the Heat and Bond, we are actually just going to iron this on to that line we just drew, and then you peel that paper backing off, and we're going to re-wrap that styrofoam cone around the fabric, or the fabric around the cone, and then we're going to remove the styrofoam cone, kind of hold its shape, and then come back in with our iron again and iron where we put that strip, that double-sided strip, because it's heat activated. So we are activating that adhesive in there, and once it dries and cools off, we're able to then come in and cut off that excess fabric and that flap that we didn't iron down. You just want to make sure you're cutting it to the top at a point. So now we need to cut the bottom part flat for this project. So we folded it in half, and that point over on the right side, we want to cut that off. So you just want to make sure to cut a straight line across the bottom. And we have basically made the form of our fabric Christmas tree. So you can put your styrofoam cone back up in there, or honestly, because we added that fusible webbing to the inside, these are rigid enough that they will stand up on their own too without those styrofoam cones. These are absolutely so cute when you make them into a set with matching fabrics. You can also put them on candlesticks to raise them up, or some mini raised trays like I've done here to get a tiered effect. All right, now on to project 2 of 3 with these fabric cones. So we've just repeated that process that we did with the Christmas trees in the last project, but this time we are not going to cut that flap off in the back. We are going to keep that on there, and actually we're going to do that for the next 2 projects, so keep that in mind. For this next step, all you need to do is grab a piece of ribbon, kind of make a loop with it so the tails meet in the back. We're going to put it on the back side of our cone, and then you can glue it down, you can sew it down, or my little tip here is just use a stapler. You're not going to see it anyway whenever we get to this point, which is adding greenery. So you can add some greenery in there, berries in there. You can even add some fairy lights in there. That would make it really magical. And just hang it from a door, a wall, a doorknob, somewhere where you need a little extra Christmas greenery in your home. And then now we are on to project 3 of 3. Same thing. We have our cone. We did not cut that point off at the top, and these make the cutest little gift pouches. You can put little candies in there, gifts in there, gift cards in there, and then it's so simple to close these up. You just take some scissors and cut a little hole at the top where the point is, and on the front where the top opening is, just underneath there, just a little slit in those 2 spots, and then take your ribbon, cut a little bit of a length off, maybe about 12 inches here, and you're going to take that and you're going to feed it from the front to the inside of the cone at that bottom slit, and then from the front to the back of the top point, and then just gather the tails together, tie a little knot or a bow. Very easy way to create a little reusable gift bag. If you tie a bow, you're going to want to cut off the ends to make those look nice. You can also add a gift tag on here, and I think this would be such a sweet and personalized little gift that you can give to those you love. I absolutely love a good no-sew project, and all 3 of those were so easy to do. If you enjoyed those projects, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Now on to our next DIY. We're going to grab some red felt from Dollar Tree. I like these because they're longer than the sheets that you can buy at the craft store. We're going to need that length because we're going to be wrapping our styrofoam cone in this red felt. So just like we did for our Christmas trees and our pockets earlier, we're going to wrap the cone around and then cut the section off from the rest of the felt, save that for other crafts, and then unroll it until we have the flap on the side, and add some hot glue on there and reposition it back so that that will hold onto the cone. Then go ahead and cut any excess off the bottom. Now for the top, we need to kind of fold over the excess felt at the top of the cone and use some hot glue to help hold that down. Now I had some leftover furry fabric from last year. We're going to use that at the bottom of this cone because we're going to make our own little decorative Santa hat. So this fur works perfectly. I'll link some down below for you. We're just using some hot glue all the way around that bottom rim and then adding that fur over the top of the glue and then cutting off any excess. Now for the top of our Santa hat, we're going to use a great big old white pom-pom. Now you can leave this as is, looks like a pretty cute Santa hat to me, but if you want to add even more, a little bit of decorative element to this, you can just take some black felt and cut maybe 1.5 to 2 inch wide strip from the longer side, and then we're going to wrap that around the center of the hat using some hot glue to attach it. Now we can't have a belt without a buckle, right? So I have this metallic gold ribbon from Dollar Tree. I love this stuff because it's gonna look metal, but obviously it is more of like a paper ribbon, so we can manipulate it and cut it to look like a metal buckle just with some scissors. So we've cut a square and then cut a inside square out from there, and then we're gonna use some hot glue to attach it to the middle. So stinking cute, right? I think this would be a great project to even do with kids. Or you can make multiples like we did of the Christmas trees earlier and do kind of a tiered effect. Really inexpensive and easy DIY that you can create for your own Christmas decor for your home. This snowman plate is giving away our next DIY because we're going to turn this styrofoam cone into a snowman, and I love this stuff for Christmas time. It's called Snow-Tex. It's a textured and decorative paint, so it's got some texture in there, obviously being called Snow-Tex. But instead of painting it on regularly, you're going to take a foam paintbrush and you're going to dab it on, so it's going to add that white color. It's going to kind of clean up all the pores that are on the styrofoam, and it's going to give you a textured effect that's going to look just like snow. You're definitely going to want to add this product to your Christmas craft stash, so I will make sure to link it down below. Now we need to make a snowman carrot nose, and I was like, what in the world am I going to use for that? So I found this chalkboard sign with a little pick on the bottom that I had from Dollar Tree. So I painted the end of that orange. Need a top hat for our snowman too. So this one came from Hobby Lobby. It was under $2, and just hot glued that to the top. And while that paint was drying, we're going to add some black buttons for the eyes. Now that our paint's dry, we're going to cut the end of that stick off, use some hot glue, and then just push it right down into the top middle between the eyes of that styrofoam. So I didn't have any teeny tiny black buttons, so instead of that, I'm using some paint and a paintbrush and just painting on some little dots for his smile. For his scarf, we're using some 5/8 inch ribbon for this. We're going to tie it around his neck into a double knot, cut it down to size, and then a little trick here is to cut little slits in the bottom of the ribbon to make it look like a scarf, and then use some hot glue to help hold those ends down. Then you can add a little bit more detail here with some larger black buttons for his outfit, his coat, his body, and then you can also add some embellishments to his hat too to dress that up. I think this guy turned out so cute, and I know I have some snowman fanatics as followers, so if you do love snowmen or you collect snowmen, you can head over to my Christmas channel, The Cozy Christmas Cottage, and I even have several videos dedicated to all snowman projects and DIYs. I'll have those linked down below for you. For our next project, you're going to need a red coffee mug, which you can grab from Dollar Tree. I'm using this one here. It is from Dollar Tree. It's a little bit different than the one you saw on the shelf, but I love these because they don't taper at all. They're just easier to craft with, so keep that in mind next time you're going to Dollar Tree. And you want to make sure your cone is going to fit down into the bottom of your coffee mug as well. This stuck out a little bit too far for me, so I'm cutting about 2 inches off of the top point of the cone. We're going to remove the styrofoam from the coffee mug, add some hot glue to the bottom, and then replace the cone right back into the mug. We're going to fill in some of the gaps around the cone with some paper towels, or you could use tissue paper here too. It's going to save us having to use more product than we need to, because we're going to be using these really lightweight spackling. You can find spackling at Dollar Tree that works too, but I like this stuff. I'll link it down below for you. It is much lighter weight. It's easier to manipulate and work with, and we are going to be using this as whipped cream for our coffee mug, or hot cocoa in this case. And this looks so realistic. So you don't need a piping bag or anything. You can see I'm just using a popsicle stick here. You just want to slather it on there, fill in all the gaps, cover the styrofoam, which is giving it some height in there, and then tap around, and it's going to give you those peaks in the texture of what looks just like whipped cream. Now, while that spackling is wet, you want to do your decorating. So I cut a paper straw in half, inserted that. I had this paper gingerbread cookie girl that I stuck in there, and then some peppermint embellishments, which I think are beads from Hobby Lobby. And then these are the cutest things. Another thing you should add to your Christmas craft stash are these faux sprinkles. You get a ton of them and a great selection of them. I will link them down below, but they had little mini peppermints in there too, so I added some of those to the whipped cream. You let this dry. This is such a cute addition to your Christmas kitchen and decor. If you have a hutch, you can put it on your hutch, in a coffee bar. If you have glass cabinet doors in your kitchen, this would be a cute little thing to put on a shelf in there. So I love this DIY, it's so fun. Now we're gonna need to grab a wood block from Dollar Tree. You're gonna need your Christmas fabric again, and of course a styrofoam cone. Same thing here, we're gonna cut a 12-inch square from the corner of our fabric. Make sure to iron it all flat, and we're gonna wrap our cone in this fabric again. Same thing, wrapping, and then we're gonna use our hot glue to make sure our fabric stays on our cone and cut off any excess. Now comes in that wood block. We're going to cover this with some of that faux fur that I used earlier. We're going to cut a long section of that off so it will basically cover and go around that wood block. Use some hot glue to attach it on. This is going to become the beard and face of our Christmas Santa or gnome. So now we need to add our cone onto the top of the block, which is going to be our hat. So lots of hot glue here, and then just kind of put the front where you want the front of the beard to be and put the seam of the cone towards the back. Once that dries, we're kind of gonna move all that fur around and out of the way. Where the hat meets the beard, and then take a half wood bead. This is a 1-inch size. I'll link that down below for you too. And just add some hot glue to give our little gnome a nose, or could be a Santa Claus, totally up to you. I hope you've had fun watching today's video. If you made it to the end, please leave me a Christmas tree emoji down in the comments below. And the next thing you want to do is head down to the description box and click that playlist link so you can head over to the next video for even more Christmas ideas and inspiration. Also, if you could take a second, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next one. Have a creative day.